What's up? This is Patrick of Radicards.com, and in this episode, we're just going to be talking about some stuff I picked up over, some of this stuff is on CMC for like 3 years, and I requested a delivery that arrived earlier this month, and probably my biggest one since I've been on CMC, because I got an account with them, back in 2007 when they were checkoutmycards.com. And since then, I usually request within some small block of cards. I had like almost 330 cards. I think it was like 323 cards total for this lot, and it was just stuff I'd acquired for 3+ years, and for sets and cool singles and miscellaneous. So we're gonna be talking about some of that came through. A couple things that got online on eBay. Some of this stuff made the museum and some of it didn't. And so the quality is going to be varied a little bit, but to me, it's all really cool stuff. It's just I have specific rules set up for what gets on the museum, because I can't just be sitting there all my time and add everything I get and put it up on the museum. So I have these like these benchmarks and these rules, these qualifiers, this threshold and that sort of thing. And so it has to meet the certain standards to be museum quality. But let's jump right into it here. We're going to start this list off with a football card. So this is Mark Sanchez, 2009, Topps Chrome Red Refractor to 25, PSA 8. I'd been wanting this card for a while. Probably I started searching for this Red Refractor 2 years ago, maybe longer than that. And I finally came across one that was reasonably priced with an OBO, and I worked with a seller, and I got it for a lot cheaper than what it was worth in 09 and 10. Because I found out about this guy in 2010 because he was the big rookie coming up in 2009, and so it was a bigger deal back then. Obviously now things have changed. It's been so long, 13 years, and so lots can happen in 13 years. So this card at one point would have been worth big dollars, would have been worth a lot of money. And I just wanted one Mark Sanchez card. I didn't want anything with like relic-y and auto. I didn't want any of that stuff, plates and all that nonsense. So I just stuck with this one. It's a great refractor, parallel of an awesome set. Topps Chrome, I've always liked Topps Chrome. And I say like nonsense with all like the relic-y auto stuff, but it's not nonsense. It just doesn't really fit in the way I like to collect. They're great cards and they fit in other people's collections. They don't really fit in my collection though. So I don't buy a lot of that type of stuff. I've mentioned this in previous videos. It's not to say there isn't great stuff that's like that. The stuff I end up buying happens to be more like parallels that are chrome and I don't know, just standard stuff with none of that on it. I just prefer the standard card, the card by design. So there you have it. This is a great card to have. At least it was at one point. I was glad to finally get one of these. This is the Mark Sanchez 2009 Topps Chrome Red Refractor rookie card to 25, PSA 8. All right, next on the list, this is a Ken Griffey Jr. 1990 Fleer Soaring Stars PSA 8. So I've always liked this card. And I have a few raw copies, but I wanted a graded one just to have. And the price on this was so good. It was like less than $7 at auction. And so I was like, oh, I got to get that because I love the very staple 1990s design. It's actually 1990 design. The set's got a great roster of guys that are era specific to 1990 who are coming up at around that time, 89, 90, 91. It's just a cool set, 12 cards. And I always like this set. So I might get a better grade example of this card at some point down the line. Maybe not. I don't know. But I thought that this 8, with the price, I couldn't pass up. Because I've picked these up for in dollar boxes over the years. I have a few of them. But it's just a great Griffey card to have. If you can get just a raw example, no grade, it's still an awesome card to have. It's just a cool card. So if you're in the market for this card, look for ones that are centered. Typically left to right is an issue with this set. So see if you can find one that's pretty well centered. This one top to bottom isn't great, but left to right is pretty good. And so I try to be pretty lenient with that with this one, some of these sets. This one in particular is centering sensitive. And so when you're looking for the set, obviously the green border all the way to the edge is going to have some slight edging issues. The top left corner of this one isn't perfect. Probably why I kicked it down to an 8. But I'm okay with that. It's just a great card. Like I said, the price made sense. So there you have it. This is the Ken Griffey Jr. 1990 Fleer Soaring Stars PSA 8. All right, next on the list here, I got like 3 different tabs going in my Finder window with the various places because I've got like a football block, a blogging block, and then a museum block right now. And so I'm pulling content from each of the tabs. This one here is a Mike Piazza 1994 Rembrandt Ultra Pro Piazza, number 6. It's PSA 8. So if you bought Ultra Pro pages in 94, or really in the early 90s, what they would do is they would insert a card in like the first sheet or like as a throw on. And so to stimulate market demand for the product. And it worked because, I bought some of them and I remember loving the cards. I still do to this day. In 1994, they released a run of Mike Piazza cards, and card number 6 is the one that's chrome. It says chrome technology, this card here. Other ones are just stock standard cards. They show him like holding like a golf club and he's wearing golfing attire. He's like a more casual appearance to him. This one actually shows him in uniform and it has a more professional look to it. And so I liked it. I discovered this card relatively recently because I like Mike Piazza, but this is not something I'd ever seen in the wild, and I haven't seen it in various searches, but then again, I hadn't been searching for it, so I had no reason to come across it. But it came up in like a suggested search. I don't remember how, and I was like, I want to get one of those. Those are cool. And so they're pretty inexpensive, raw. They're pretty affordable. And so this was one that I felt just was like, I got to get that. It's just too cool. So this has a little bit of greening happening. I mean, the chrome is an older technology now. It's pushing into the 30 years, or it'll be 30 years of chrome technology usage next year, and like mainstream usage. Pre-93, that technology was being fielded around to see which companies were going to take on the contract to use the chrome technology. So the technology itself is arguably older than 29 years, but mainstream use started in 1993 with 1993 Topps Finest. So this is just a really cool thing. This follow-up release, kind of, comic book cards were starting to use chrome technology around this time too. So I have a bunch of those from when I was younger. I used to collect comic book cards. I always like those even now. But I just thought this was a great card. It's scanned really well, and it just looks good. It's colorful. If you got this in hand, it's pretty easy to envision the classic etching of early chrome cards. It's what you have here. It's just an awesome Mike Piazza card. I always like Mike Piazza. So you have it. This is Mike Piazza, 1994 Rembrandt Ultra Pro Piazza, number 6, PSA 8. All right, moving on. This is love this. So rad. This was a COMC buy. So it was 2019, I think, when I bought this on COMC. Yeah, gosh, so long ago now. It's so funny. Matt Morris, 1996 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor, PSA 10. This is the rookie card. I have a story about Matt Morris. I've talked about him before in a blog post. You can go on Radicards, and if you're watching this on YouTube, and search for the article. I talked about the refractor of this card, the stock refractor, and the refractor of the 1996 Topps Chrome Matt Morris. And so when I saw this at CMC, I was like, well, I got to get that. And the price was really great because it predated the COVID spike by about 8 months. And so I was pretty happy to get this for the price I got. And I haven't seen another one since. Granted, I don't search for them. But I really like this card. I love that box matrix kind of thing that they created. It's funny. There is a football set in 94 that Topps created, the base stock 94 Topps football. There's like a measure of greatness or some subset at the end of the set that features this design embedded into the card. It's not a chrome set though. It's just a stock. So it's like a design feature into the card. It's a parallel later in the set. Has like Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and those guys, classic guys from 90s football. And then they chromed them out in 96 Bowman's Best. And I just think these cards are so nice looking. They are great. Gosh, I remember looking for the Thomas for years before I found the one I own, or the first one I bought anyway. And I can remember walking to work. I think it was walking to work when it surfaced. And I think it was like, I don't remember the specific, like, if it was auction or buy it now. For about a year and a half, I was walking to and from work, and it was just the greatest thing. And I would get on my phone and I'd search auctions, or I'd read textbooks, or I'd make good use of the time, because it's about a mile from my office to my apartment, and that was just so cool. And in one of the walks, I found the 1996 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor Frank Thomas, and I remember being super floored about it. There was another time too, was the 2000 Finest Gold Refractor Frank Thomas. I'd like been, and I bought it like it was a very low price. I was really floored to get that for that price a long time ago now. Gosh, must have been 12 or 13. So it's a while ago. But really happy to have this. This is great. Love this set. Love that the cards come a background design either gold or silver, and they're stock. There are no parallels of those designs. See, the base, refractor, or atomic, but the background colors are the same on all three. But they don't mention it here in Bowman's Best. They don't say silver or gold. So there were two subsets in 1994 Bowman's Best, and in 1995 Bowman's Best. There was like a red theme and a blue theme. The red theme was always assigned to veterans, and the blue theme was always assigned to prospects and rookies. And so there's no reason for any one in one block to be in the other block. So they only have either or, not and. So there's no reason to put red or blue on the flip. It's implied. So kind of, I don't know why that happens in grading. It's so strange to me. This 1996 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor, silver. It's not necessary to say that because he is a rookie. He's not a veteran. The veterans get the gold background, and the rookies get the silver background. Unless you're talking about like the preview run, then it's different. Like the Derek Jeter, it's like kind of flopped. Kind of like in 1993 Finest, the preview cards, the promos, the backgrounds are the different design. Like the Nolan Ryan has the stock design in the promo, but in the set, the actual legitimate set, he's an all-star. So he's got the all-star background. So it's just kind of a cool thing that exists, that the way it does. And in 1996, Topps got wise to this thing and didn't bother putting the colors of the backgrounds on the tops of the Bowman's Best flips. So kind of a cool thing. I like this. This is a great card of a great pitcher. This is the Matt Morris 1996 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor PSA 10. All right, moving on. We have this is a Casey Kochman 2002 Topps Pristine Gold Refractor. So Topps Pristine was always an interesting product to me because the card design was always great, and the decal edge on the gold refractors is just rad. Love it. Oftentimes with Topps Pristine, they'll make like 2 or 3 different styles per player in the set. So like Casey Kochman would be like, say, like 160, 161, 162. Now, without researching it, I can't say that with certainty, but that's been the case with a lot of Topps Pristine releases, is that the players will be featured more than once throughout the set, and they're usually blocked back to back to back. At least that's been my understanding with some Topps Pristine sets. And they're different pictures. There's like an action shot, a portrait shot, and like another shot of them. And so some are better than others depending, and you have like different background designs across the 3 cards or 2 cards or whatever. I've always liked the stock standard base design. This is got a stock design to it. I always like the Angels uniform that he's wearing on this one, like it's like a short sleeve over long sleeve thing. I think that's what he's got going on here. But this is a cool card. I got this on CMC as well, and it was pretty inexpensive. And I think this is my 2nd or 3rd Kochman card. I don't have that much stuff of his. It's just a few here and there. If you search Casey Kochman on the site, you'll find at least one other video of me talking about a Casey Kochman card. I do like this card. It's kind of more of a personal thing. Because it's like I lived in Fullerton for a while, and I used to go down to Anaheim Stadium and watch the games. So I have this like affinity to Anaheim, and the Angels. I've always just liked the team. They have a beautiful stadium. I think between the Angel Stadium and the Dodger Stadium, the Angel Stadium is just a much nicer stadium and just a better part of LA. This is Casey Kochman, 2002 Topps Pristine Gold Refractor, card number 162, BGS95. All right, moving on. We have love this, Connor Jackson, 2004 Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor, PSA 10. COMC buy. Connor Jackson came up in 2004, and I remember buying packs at Target and pulling a Connor Jackson and learning about him. And he was prospected back then heavily, and he was supposed to be something bigger than what he was. But he had a career. He had some years. His career was kind of derailed by a sickness that he contracted, and he spent some time in the minor leagues, and then he kind of hung it up. So Connor Jackson reminds me of 2004, when I'd been a year back into the hobby, and I was learning about who was hot and who was collectible and who was still playing. I grew up a lot that year, but this card, I don't have a lot of Connor Jackson stuff. I'm at three pieces maybe, but this is, I think, an important one to have. I really like the gold refractors from 2004 Chrome. I mean, I think all the gold refractors are great, but this one in particular is really, really cool. So serial number to 50 on this guy. The Casey Kochman was to 70. If you don't already know, the gold refractors usually have serial numbers on them, at least in these years anyway. But yeah, I was really happy to get this. This was a really good buy. It's cheap enough anyway. I think it was pre-COVID purchase as well, so it'd been sitting on CMC for a while after I purchased it. Love this. This is great. This is Connor Jackson, 2004 Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor to 50, PSA 10. Last on the list here, this is the Fernando Martinez 2009 SP Authentic Titanium to 10. It's an on-card autograph, kinda. It's really like a sticker, but the sticker is like put in a special place on the card. Now, with situations like this, I don't know if the players are sent the cards or the stickers. The sticker auto became a thing when companies got wise to shipping costs being scaled when they ship stickers instead of cards. But this one here, the sticker is part of the design of the card, so I don't know if the player was sent the card or the stickers. Probably the stickers, though. And then the stickers were placed. But then again, the sticker placement is so good on these cards that it might have been the card itself that was sent to the player. So this was also a COMC buy, and it was really inexpensive. And I remember thinking, gosh, a card to 10, what a great card to have. This guy was a huge prospect back in 2007. And in fact, his Superfractor from 2007 Bowman Chrome, when it sold, it was the then record price paid for a Superfractor at the time. I mean, that price has been blown like way out of the water many, many, many thousands and thousands of times over since then. But this particular player had at one point held the status of being featured on the most valuable Superfractor. I've only ever seen the proof example of the card, the version without the autograph. I've only ever seen that version of it. I've never seen the actual legitimate card that was sold some years ago. But yeah, I kind of came across this random searches that I do on COMC, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get that. It's a great card to have. Again, old purchase from forever ago. I was glad to finally request COMC shipping so that I can enjoy this card and the other ones that I had acquired in this block. So there you have it. That's 7 cards that we discussed. I hope you enjoyed that. I try to just think about what I can discuss on these videos. I have so much interesting things, but I can't talk about all of it, obviously. But these ones were sitting on my desk for a while, and I just processed them last night. And so I figured it might make for a fun video to discuss. Which was your favorite? Which one did you like the most, or did you know about them all? Or was there one that you just learned about? If there's something that kind of spoke to you, let me know in the comments area. Thank you for tuning in to Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Reno, and until next time, enjoy collecting. If you like this content, please subscribe. Thanks. Enjoy collecting.